And go ahead.
Okay, so
Whenever you're ready.
Could start
Speak
off
up.
by saying your name and age.
My name is Cameron Whitten, and I'm 20 years old.
Okay, and next question is, why are you running for mayor?
Well, I never really expected to do it. It was really a spontaneous decision. I was witness of the Molotov cocktail incident over when the Occupy Portland demonstration was still happening. I could go through the entire thing, which I will, because it's an interview. So what happened was people started moving into Terry Shrunk Plaza, and that was federal area. And so DHS started getting involved in our camps at that point. And what they decided to do was they took all of the power out of the outlets in the park, so people couldn't charge their equipment anymore. And what that led me to do was to scout through downtown, trying to find the closest place for me to charge my cell phone. And I found that at the World Trade Organization Center that's over by the waterfront. And I'd only gone there one night. And during this time, there was some guy, I forget his name, it's like Joseph something something. And he'd only shown up 4 days before, and he was very visible on the corner every day, stopping people by, telling them that he was from Occupy San Diego, and nobody could really call him out because we had a bunch of people showing up from all kinds of Occupies every day, so we couldn't really verify that. And he would like whisper into people's ears and sound really like belligerent and crazy, saying things like, "I'm part of the 0.00013%. I work for the FBI. I can get you anything you want. I'm a special agent." Blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff. And he would set off street fires every night, and the police would arrest him, and then they release him in the morning. They didn't give him any serious charges. So I go to the World Trade Center the first night. The second night, he follows me, and I'm down there with my wife, and we're just chatting it up. And this is completely under surveillance. There's cameras everywhere. And he comes up, and he asks me if I have a cigarette. And we tell them that we don't smoke. And after that, he completely ignores us. And he turns around and goes up the stairs. 4 minutes later, he's running down the stairs. He's running towards the campsite. And there is a huge fire on the staircase. And we're freaking out, and we're screaming, we run across the street, and the security guard comes down, and he actually extinguishes it in less than 20 seconds. So the fire isn't up that long. And it's like the size of your palm. It's not that big of a fire. And what happens is Sam Adams says that terrorism's happening, they're trying to blow things up, it's completely out of control, and we're gonna have to, this is Occupy's fault. They finally put like $1 million bail on this guy. And the thing that's really weird is after this whole thing happens, the media is actually able to have a direct interview with him. And during this interview, he's more clear and lucid than he ever has been before. And he's completely bad-mouthing the movement. He's saying, "Oh, Occupy's so stupid, it's a waste of my time. Yeah, I started this fire for them, but I hate the movement and I'm never going back ever again." And based off of that whole situation, they closed down Chapman and Loudsdale Squares. I watched at PSU here the live stream of Sam Adams' press conference, and the second that he said that we were closing down the camps, I went straight to a computer. I printed out 600 flyers, and I told everybody that we're occupying City Hall. We would take his office over on Monday and fill it up, and it would be a retaliation for him trying to evict the camps. And so what happened was the whole 12-hour thing, where they finally started doing arrests, and the police had told people to go back in the parks. Everybody thought that they were okay, but we really weren't. And so there was only about 20 maybe of us outside of City Hall when Monday came around, and everybody was really distraught, really tired, didn't know what to do. And City Hall was actually on complete lockdown because they were afraid of something happening. And we were just chilling out, and at this point, we felt like we were just wasting our time, didn't know what the next action should be because we couldn't get in anyways. And there was this guy standing outside, and he was talking about how he was running for mayor of Portland. And so I I go over to him and I ask him, how do you do that? And he says, oh, it's really easy. You just get some forms, get some signatures, you turn them in, and you're on the ballot. So I go up to City Hall, I start yelling at the guards, and I'm just like, could you please help me out right now? I need some files, I need some paperwork from the auditor's office, somebody help me. And they actually let me inside the building. And I get into the auditor's office, and they follow me, and they say, we actually weren't supposed to let you in. And so I tell them to give me 5 minutes. And I talk to the elections officer, gives me all the paperwork, tells me what to do, gives me the whole booklet, and I go back up to PSU, I make 40 photocopies of the initial filing, and I go back to the General Assembly and I tell everybody, run for mayor, run for commissioner, vote the ballot, they don't know who to vote for. And at this point, Mike Reese was still considering his run, chief of police. Ever since that he's been chief of police, there's been so many mentally affected people, so many dogs, so many people of color being killed, and now Portland Police Bureau is under federal investigation, and this guy's now running for mayor. And everybody was really afraid of Portland becoming a police state, so they told me that they did not want to run for mayor. They wanted me to run for mayor, and they would vote for me. That's pretty much how it started.
Alright. And last question, are you worried that the media will try to make you seem unfit to run Portland if you continue to support Occupy?
I'm pretty sure that the media doesn't even want to cover me. It's all about corporate dollars. It's all about who is going to be the most interesting and who's going to deserve. There's definitely a lot of elitism. The media is the fourth branch of government. And seeing that I am the one who's least politically involved and most wanting to change the government, I don't see them wanting to even cover me. They want to make me as visible as possible. Because the more coverage I get, the more people will know about me, the more people will talk about me. And that's a threat that they'll really want to have to handle. Like the Whitten Weekly, they actually put only one line about me and one of their articles saying that I was running. I've luckily gotten on the front page of the Tribune, front page of the Observer, but even the Oregonian, they try to put me in like the community living section. But mostly there's been positive things. I haven't had anybody directly ask me about Occupy because they know that it's leaderless, but they do ask, we do talk about the movement a little bit. And yes, some people will say I'm a criminal, and it's people's, small minds.
I was going to say, when you identify with, you're not a Republican or a Democrat, you say, Occupy. Alright.
I'm nonpartisan, but I don't think that partisan politics have really gotten us far. And luckily, city elections are not partisan either. And so that's why I really think that local government needs to realize that there's a lot of responsibility that we have here, and we can't wait for the federal government to try to fix things. And we can't keep blaming other people for the issues that we can solve together, because democracy happens at the lowest level. All it needs is two people.
And thank you
Thank you.
That was really good. Yeah, I think that'll go over really good.
Perfect.